pursuit on the wire. Mongolian win takes the 72nd running of the Manitoba Derby. And welcome everybody to a special edition of ASD Live. It's the Kentucky Derby 2022 edition coming from Churchill Downs. Myself and Stretch will look at the races 7 through 12, which are there is a 14 race card. The 12th race is the Kentucky Derby, so we will look at the pick 6, pick 5, pick 4 leading into them. Stretch, it's been a long winter here in Winnipeg. Lots of snow now turning into lots of water. How did you do at the wickets?
Well, I'm surviving, got through. I had lots of time inside because of the weather. Didn't get down south to see some racing live, but that's okay. I always look forward to this day because, as you mentioned, getting closer, well, kind of spring in Manitoba, getting better. Kentucky Derby Day, obvious reason, just unbelievable race. But I also like that there's so much extra money out there. Your casual fan might bet 1 or 2 days a year, maybe breeders, and of course Kentucky Derby. So that helps us, the regular handicappers, because they're picking names and numbers, and well, they might get lucky, but there's that much more money out there to be available. Hoping we can give some winners, set it up for the whole live season.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Stretch. Let's start off with talking about the Kentucky Oaks that happens on Friday night. And then the Derby, of course, is on Saturday. The Oaks, who do you like in there? We're just going to touch on it for a
good
bit.
call, for sure. Let's just briefly start with the weather. I did some research. I'm maybe a handicapper, but part-time weather guy. It's 75 and scattered showers on the Friday.
For the Oaks.
And our picks for both days, we're going to unfortunately go with kind of a fast track. There might be some scratches. So be aware that we're going on that. And then the Derby day is 65 and it's a patchy drizzle. And that isn't even me making up a name. That's right from their weather report.
Well, let's hope that patchy drizzle stays in patches of maybe the parking lot or across the street. As we've seen at our racetrack, the perimeter highway is just on the other side. I've seen it absolutely pouring, yet it really hasn't come over to the track. So maybe it'll fend off and not affect any of the racing. Okay, let's touch on the Oaks on Friday night to get things going. Stretch, who do you like in there?
Yes, for sure. I'd like to touch base on it. I like a couple horses. I think in the Oaks there's less contenders, whereas I think there's a lot more horses that can win on the Derby. Not as many in the Oaks. And my number one I'm starting with is the 4, starting to look like the monster and just getting better and better. Last 2 races was not even close to the competition, just blew them away. I think the similar stocking trip and basically just takes over. Any repeat of those 2, the figures are up there. Second choice is the 1. Had a trouble trip against the boys last time out. Does need a duel. So if there is a duel, then it helps this horse quite a bit. The only reason I took this horse second was because of needs some help. And then, of course, the 7 horse will be on the lead. Solid filly in there. Obviously not surprised if that horse wins. And one last one, a big long shot would be the 2. Has been a 1 1/8 and at least be in the tries and super at a nice, I believe, 15-1. So it'd be 4-1-7-2.
Yeah, Stretch, I like your top 3 selections. Echo Zulu puts the win string on the line. What a machine she has been, just racking up the wins. Last time was probably the closest finish, but I expect her to try and control it and try and wire the field. Secret Oath, great race against the boys. If that same race comes to play, and I'm going to get about, say, 9-2 on the horse, I'm going to jump all over that and nest another one. Wow, some very impressive wins in there. These are 3 fillies that are really at the top of their game right now. And I'm with you. They're the big contenders in the field for the Oaks on Friday night. But let's carry on now and let's go to Derby Day. And we're going to start at race number 7, as there is 14 races scheduled. We're going to start at race 7 and carry on to the Derby, which is in race 12. And race 7 is the Pat Day Mile, a grade 2 event going 1 mile for 3-year-olds. Who do you like in here, Stretch?
Yeah, as you mentioned, those races we're covering, they're all stake races. So some grade 1s, some grade 2s in that. So I'm going to start with the 10 in here. I bet this horse last time and was really disappointed watching the race. On the turns, decided to drop back, not sure what happened. And then you watch the finish of the last 8, and this horse is closing and flying late. So this horse is still learning how to run. A couple back, the horse didn't get out of the gate. Lost. That was one of his losses. I think this horse is just still learning, and I think the figure does need to improve the figures, but if it learns how to run a little better, that's kind of a bit of the upset at 6-1. And then my second choice would be the 1 horse. Again, on this one, I don't think he needs to go to the lead, but who knows? If Ortiz said that nobody else goes, could go right to the lead and steal it, but I don't believe it's a need the lead type horse. Cuts back a little bit. As long as it doesn't get trapped, I think the horse is a must use. And the 5 horse, I certainly will be the favorite, has done nothing wrong. I think the horse is very intelligent, can be handled, gave himself a perfect trip. Could be the next superstar. I just decided to try to beat him just because he still has only had a couple races. And then my last one, the 11, is basically should improve, but I'm using all 4, but I really like the 10 at a bit of a price. So I'm going to go 10, 1, 5, 11.
Yeah, and myself in here, Stretch, Jack Christopher. This was one wondrous 2-year-old in the Breeders' Cup going in. They were saying this horse was going to go off at less than even money. Ended up getting scratched out of the breeders, and now comes to life back in this race, a grade 2 going 1 mile. Didn't go in the Derby against the big boys, but takes the undercut grade 2 Pat Day instead. And I think that's the key for this horse. Both those wins last year, very impressive as a 2-year-old. They've been waiting for a spot. And where do they come up? On Derby Day. It's kind of surprising that that's going to be their first start, and they didn't opt for a race just before that to get a start under the belt. But I think this is a wonder horse. Both starts last year absolutely demolished the competition. This is the spot for it. I think it's a perfect entry. It's the lesserlings of the 3-year-olds. The better ones are all in the Derby. I think they picked their spot with this. So I'm a big fan of Jack Christopher. Even though it hasn't run yet this year, I think it's ready to go at first asking. I also like Major General with you. They put blinkers on last time and seemed to sharpen the horse's early speed a little bit. Ended up running a great second at Tawny Port. The time before, the only blemish, really, that 10th place finish, was stumbling coming out of the gate. And I think Castellano just protected the horse because he knew how good it was. So I like this horse to run very game in second. And my third, Papa Cap, the 3 horse. This is a horse is always knocking on the door, but unfortunately has tested some real tough ones in its campaign. Corniche being one of them, Pinehurst, Epicenter, White Arboreal. So, you know, this horse is testing all the good ones. Now it gets to go back into a grade 2. Class relief should help, but I think I'll have to run against Jack Christopher. And if you're looking for a little bit of a long shot, look at number 9, Trafalgar. This horse was gelded in its last start. That was the worst start, 7th beaten double digits. Now's been gelded. This has really changed horses that get gelded. So if you're looking for a good long shot to throw in that you're probably going to get 20, 30 to 1 on, this could be it. But my choice in the Pat Day is 5, 1, and 3. Now we're going to carry on to race number 8, the Derby City Distaff. For fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, they're going to go the 7 furlong distance. Stretch, what do you got?
All right. It's a little bit of a tricky race in here in the sense there is a potential of a duel, but some of the early pace horses are not need the lead. And so you always have to be careful when they're not need the lead. It's going to be depending upon the jockeys. If a couple of them take back and then the other one goes, it could change how the race goes. I've decided that there is going to be at least some kind of duel. It's not going to be a slow pace. And that went to the 2 horse who was improving each time. The horse was actually farther back than usual. Yes, the race did set up for her, but sits a little bit closer. Don't let anybody get away. I think she just mows them down in the stretch. The horse just looked so awesome last time, and I think there's room for improvement. To protect myself in the pick 5, pick 6, I've got the 1 as my second choice, just in case, is what I mentioned happens. No duel. Was in a duel last time. get the rail. We'll see how the track is playing out. We'll get a good idea for those first 6, 7 races. So if the track becomes speed biased, you might have to switch the picks. If speed closers or speed has not been holding, you got to take that, maybe leave the horse. And my third choice that you've probably seen me take a few times, and that's the 6. This horse is always so far back and just sometimes get there. I've won sometimes on the horse. It's just tricky. Got to use the horse. 7 out of 8 at Churchill Downs, first or second, and 8 out of 10 in the money at the distance. You can't leave the horse out. I just, I'm using 2-1-6 as my 3 horses in the sequence bets. Kirt?
Yeah, Stretch. Horse for the course is the way I'm going with Bell's the One. This is my top selection last time out against Just One Time. Bell's the One was sitting dead last in the field. They hit the turn and then they pulled the trigger and got the lead. And then Just One Time ended up catching Bell's the One late down the lane and going by. I just think that Corey Lanier just pulled the trigger a little bit too early last time out. Thought he was in cruise control, but unfortunately with these big girls in here, you're never in cruise control. They're always coming at you. They always have a little bit more horse. So your timing is everything. I think he can time it a little bit better because he was well back off of Just One Time last time out. There is pace everywhere. I think Kamari has pace. I think that Edgeway, the 7 for sure is going. Center Isle and Lady Rocket. So there is lots of early gas in here to set up for the closers to get there. And if Bell's the One runs the same type of race as last time, maybe sits a little closer and waits a little bit longer and uses that big brush that she used last time out, I really like her today, and I think we're going to get pretty decent odds come race time. I think we're going to get about 3-4 to 1. And that's going to be good enough for me for Bell's the One on top. I do like Just One Time. This is a model of consistency. Went by and took that lead and went going away on the field. She is at her best right now. So she is a top 2 play. And obligatory rounds out my top 3. Was an easy winner of the last 2. Had a troubled trip 3 outs ago. Wasn't able to get it going, but she is a little win machine in herself. So I got it down to the 3 girls. Going to run 6, 2, and 5. Now we're going to carry on to race number 9. It's the American Turf for 3-year-olds. They're going to go 1 mile and a 16th stretch. Looks like a little bit of a wide open affair.
I agree with you. I've got 5 or 6 that can win it in here. I am taking a bit of a stand because you can't take them all. And so my top selection is the 2 main event. Ortiz gave this horse an absolute awesome ride last time. Literally schooled the field. Went to the lead, shut it down, and basically had a bunch left. I don't think that the horse goes to the lead this time because he doesn't need to. He was such a smart ride. I think Ortiz is going to take back. Nice stalking trip. I think this horse is actually better off the pace. And so to win on the lead and now going to run the style that likes to run, that would be the where I would like to see that. And now the second choice is the 5. I'm kind of banking on some improvement. And the horse, I thought the horse looked pretty good last time. I don't think the horse was completely ready to go first out to win. I think this second start is really going to make a difference. And this horse, which I do like, is so versatile because if you look at the races in France, it's some went to the lead, came off the pace. Jockey can see how the race is shaping up and put the horse wherever. Maybe if there is no pace, goes to the lead, or if there is one, can kind of sit back. So that's solid there. After that, for me, it's a bit of a drop-off of giving top selections. So I'm searching for the 3rd pick, and I basically went to the 6. Proven at the distance, 3 for 3, first or second. Showed real good promise at 2. You would think that the horse is probably going to improve from 2 to 3. Don't know that. It's hard. You don't want to assume anything, but based on past, you would think growing up. So I've got it 2, 5, and 6.
Yeah, stretching here, I could have made a case for so many horses in this race, but what I do see in here is pace. On the outside, Coinage and the 10 and 11 both have some early speed. The 6 Portfolio Company has speed. Even throw Main Event, at least for some chasing speed in there if it wants to use it. So I'm looking for the closers in here. So I went for a little bit of a long shot. I went to number 4, Red Danger at 10-1. Louis Saez, he really gets along with this horse really well. Has 2 of the wins out of the 3 that the horse does have in its last 10 starts, with a couple seconds thrown in. And if you see that he did ride number 10 Coinage last time out, but he jumps over on number 4 Red Danger. Red Danger, I think, is a bit more of a closer, which is kind of what I'm looking for in this race. So I'm going with him, and I really love the odds on Red Danger. I also went to number 7 Slide Dog, undefeated after 3 starts. This horse has just been mowing him down late. Doesn't win by a whole lot. Got up to win by a narrow nose 2 outs ago. And then last time out, wore down the speed and ended up winning by 3/4 of a length. Who knows how good this horse is, but I like these undefeated horses coming in, especially that are young, because they get to really show their stuff. And if they're showing it early, they're only going to improve off that. So I got to throw Sly Dog in there with that off-the-pace running style. Another long shot, number 9 Stolen Base. Here's a horse that was getting it done early on as a rallier in the field, then just pretty well got way too far back in 3 out of his last 4 starts. Did come with a big late charge, but ran out of ground. I think with the 4 horses that do have speed in the air, that could set it up for a horse that's sitting back in 9th, 10th to show that late kick down the lane. So I'm taking Stolen Base as my other long shot in here. So I'm taking 4, 7, and 9. Now we're going to carry on to race number 10. It's the Churchill Downs Grade 1 for 4-year-olds and up. And they're also going to attack that 7 furlong distance. Looks like there may be a big favorite in this one.
Yes, I think the race does go through Jackie's Warrior, the 3 horse, but I am going to try a small upset. I saw enough on the 8 horse that there is a chance that maybe the horse can win, and make it pay a bit. Certainly not leaving out the 3. I like that the horses, the 8 horses cutting back, did have a wide trip last time. We're cutting back, had the lead in the last 16th and just couldn't overcome the closer at the end. So the figures say that the horse can be there. Yes, Jackie's could be the controlling speed. If this horse gets an early lead and controls him, the race is over. He is 2 for 2 at the distance. The other horse to make it pay a little bit more would be, or at least in the trifecta, is the 6. Now, the last race was in the slop, so if it is raining with that patchy drizzle in there and it's raining, you might want to consider the 6. Huge figures. The figures are actually bigger than the 3 and the 8 on the slop. So see where it's at. That's why I've got to include it, but I've got it 8-3-3-8-6. Kirt?
Yeah, Stretch, I'm straight at Jackie's Warrior. I don't see a lot of speed in this race. When Jackie's Warrior has been beat, has been challenged every step of the way. Last time out was the first start of 2022. Jackie's Warrior just came out of the gate nice and easy. There was Joe Rosario. He just sat there. He opened up in the turn, and then late down the lane, he got to scrubbing a little bit, but really didn't do much stick work there. Only 1 hit, and just to keep him going. But I just see that being a perfect tightener. The horse is 2 for 2 at Churchill, loves the distance, loves the track. Everything is going for Jackie's Warrior, and with the lack of other speed in here, it's the one to catch, and I just don't think they'll catch it. If I'm getting anywhere near 3-2, I'm going to be going to the wickets with fists full. I also like number 1, Aloha West. What a great race last time out. Yes, it was a long time ago in the Breeders' Cup, but came barreling down the lane to beat Dr. Shivel, who looked like it was going to be the winner, but just ran out of gas in the late strides. Aloha West, what a great form. 9 starts, 5 wins in a couple seconds. Has won over the Churchill surface, which I also like. With no speed to run at, that's the only undoing factor to Aloha West, but I think it will come with that late run, so I do like it a lot. And I like number 8, Cezanne, as you spoke about. The horse is 6 for 7 in the money, 4 wins, and has a great running style, just off the pace. We'll be stalking Jackie's Warrior. So I got those 3, 1, and 8. Now we're going to carry on to race number 11. It's the Old Forester Bourbon Turf Classic for 4-year-olds and up. They're going to go 1 1/8 miles on the turf. Stretch, What do you got in this affair?
Okay, this is an absolute wide open race, and even my least opinionated race of top horses in here. I do like a bunch of them. I'll be taking a bunch in the sequence bets, but we'll start with this. I think the race is going to be run fairly. What I mean by that, you're probably not going to get a super slow pace that somebody can kind of just steal it on the front end. I don't think they're going to gun to the lead to suicidal fractions either. So that being said, I am going to go to the horse that impressed me the most on the replays watching them, and that is the 6. It is as good a final kick as I've seen in a long time. One of the fastest quarters. It was there. Absolutely incredible. If it didn't take too much out of him, will be very tough to beat. But the big concern, and this is why I'm not running to the wickets like Kirt does on his top pick, would be the trainer is 0 for 18 second off. Terrible stat. Hence, I know I'm putting it on top just because of such a good race. We'll have to see. Got to use multiple horses. The one horse is my second choice. Certainly, again, can close. Very consistency. I like the kind of the couple works coming in. Should get the trip. My third selection is the 10. I'm looking for a price in here. I think the horse is an improving horse. The other thing I do like is the races on paper doesn't look as good as what's actually going on in the race. And so you kind of can get some value there. And that's why I've got to include the horse. So I've got it 6, 1, 10, but it's absolutely wide open for me.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I do like Ivor a lot in there. This is a horse I've backed several times and ran out of gas, let's say, late down the lane to get the job done. But Space Blues in the Breeders' Cup last year, and then the Keeneland Turf Mile, 4th beaten 2. And in this race last year was 6 beaten 2 lengths. So very lightly raced in 2021, only the 3 starts. I think Ivor's coming in with better works than it did last year coming into the race. And there is some speed. The 4 has speed, the 2 has speed, and the 7. So there is a little bit of gas up front. But the one thing about this race, it's not as tough a grade 1 as Ivor has been running against in the past. There's no Colonel Liam. There's no Space Blues, Smooth Like Straight. There's none of those in here. Yes, it's not a real easy field, but it is easier than Ivor's tested, so I'm giving it my top selection. I also like the 4, who is the speed of the speed. There isn't a pile of speed in here. There's a couple others, as I said, that can go with it to push it a little bit, but really not knock heads and do some crazy fractions going this 1 1/8. And this horse has been doing well at Saratoga, Monmouth, Belmont, trying to steal it every step of the way. The Breeders' Cup was the worst start, but the horse had to go way too fast in there. I don't think it'll have to do it in here. So Tribhuvan, I think this horse will last a lot farther. So I'm throwing that one in my top 2. And the 6, Churchill Stretch top selection. This horse knows how to win. The string's on the line. So those are my top 3, 1, 4, and 6. All right, the Kentucky Derby time, $3 million, 1.25 miles. Stretch, you have this down to only 3 horses?
Yeah. No, I'm going to give out about 4 picks in here. It's quoted as...
I could give out like 9.
That's true. That's fair. That's more than fair. It's kind of labeled as the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, and it's hard to disagree with that. We've got 20 horses, biggest field you're going to see all year. Be prepared. You might bet the horse that might have been the best horse in the race, but could get in terrible trouble. So you're going to need some racing luck in here. I'm hoping to have some racing luck in here. I'm giving out orders. We always put our picks in order, but I'm boxing them basically in the selection. But I will start with the 6. It actually pains me a little bit to give out this horse with the name Messier. Being a Jets fan, I've kind of anguished and still trying to get over him beating me meeting the Jets many times in the playoff games. But got to get past that. We're here to make some money. I can live with that if he wins and forget the past. So here we go. The 6 is my top selection, as mentioned. Looking into the criteria of the horses that come into the race, this horse, in fact, fits pretty much all of them, of the trends that you want, what races, how many starts and everything. I think the horse had a tougher trip last time. I think can turn the tables this time and improve a little bit more. I like that there was something a little different, pressed a pretty quick pace. So that is listed as my top selection. Second choice, I guess you could say, the 3 horses getting better with every race. I like that the last race was 1 mile and 3/16. I think that's a huge advantage. The figures are there. The horse can come just off the pace, but not from way back. The 1 horse would be a third selection that I'd put in there. I've watched this horse. I've been following it. Won a couple times. The last time, a couple times ago, had an excuse and lost from there. Basically had no chance after the start. Post 1 has not been a good spot, but the last couple years they've changed the gate, and so the horse is no longer running basically into the rail. It's a lot more fair, and I think hopefully doesn't get trapped on the rail, but Ortiz possibly get him in a good spot. My long shot, but I'm going to let Kirt take most of the credit on this because it is his top selection. That's the 5. I'll just leave it at that. Let him take the credit. Well, I'll take the credit if it wins later, but he can tell you about 6-3-1-5. Kirt?
Yeah, Smile Happy. This is a horse I think might get overlooked because the 2 big favorites in the race are number 3 Epicenter and number 10 Zandon. The only 2 horses that Smile Happy has lost to, Epicenter, Zandon. But what I really like about this horse is the running style. Zandon has that big, late, off-the-pace running style. Epicenter on the front running style. What does Smile Happy bring to the race? Sit wherever you want. This horse is sat 8th. It's sat 4th, couple lengths off of it. And that's what I really like in these 3-year-olds, especially with a field like this. The horses on the outside are going to come crashing towards the rail, trying to dig in and get any kind of positioning they have for any of the speed horses. Anything on the inside is going to try and go for positioning too. So you don't want to be right on the fence. You want to be just off of it. And Stretch has given me heck quite a few times for taking these outside horses that seem to get hung out to dry 7-8 wide. I think Smile Happy will sit about 6th or 7th in this field and pick the spot that's best. And Corey Lanier seems to get along with it really well. It did have the lead against Zandon last time out, before Zandon came absolutely smoking. So the pace really doesn't matter to Smile Happy. It'll be able to sit there. And what I love about it, they gave me a 20-1 morning line. And this horse went off as the favorite against both of those horses in the last 2 starts and ran second in both of them. I think this is my key horse. So I'm putting Smile Happy on top. I also do like Epicenter. The horse has done absolutely no wrong. Comes off of 2 impressive wins. Going away 2 outs ago, and last time was a little bit of a cakewalk getting it done. So those 2, and my third selection in here, White Abarrio, draws post position number 15. If it would have drew a little bit inside, I might have moved it up a little more, but that was a great race in the Florida Derby. Also won the Holy Bull easily by 4. Yes, I do know the trainer from Barbados, so maybe that's a little bit playing into my picks. I will be cheering for him. But White Iberio is one of the ones that has a good running style. It's a stalking style. He might be able to get over to get some good positioning early. As you know, in the Derby, it's all about positioning. Couple other horses to look at. Number 12, Taba, the only undefeated horse in here. Stretch, we were talking about this earlier. Last year, how many undefeated horses were there? About 5, 6?
Somewhere around there, absolutely. That was one of the most often in a race to have that many undefeated.
Yeah, it was absolutely unbelievable. This is the only one that's undefeated, but it's 2 for 2. And then another horse maybe to take a little look at, number 7, Crown Pride, a Japanese horse that going into the Breeders' Cup last year, I was throwing him out before even really looking at it. I did like Love last year in my picks, and then I kind of gave the Japanese horses a little bit more. I don't see as much in this horse, but as they're showing in the Breeders' Cup was so strong this year. Stretch, do you give this horse a shot?
In this type of field, it's so wide open the right trip. I don't really give the horse a shot, but at 20-1, 25-1, it needs the right trip. I don't know enough about the horse to completely throw it out, but I'm not going to be using the horse.
But it seems like Japanese breeding and their program is definitely excelling. And we love to see that. Sure, the North American horses, we cheer for them and everything. But I love seeing a nice pony no matter where it comes from. So Japan, way to go with your breeding program. You have been doing very well. But after saying all that, I'm taking 5, 3, and 15 in the Derby. Good luck with all your selections. Okay, here are mine and Stretch's selections on races 7 through 12 on our Kentucky Derby day of racing.
Okay, so let's start with race 7. I'm going to start it off with a few bets because it is the pick 6. So let's start with just to try to get on the board. We're going to do a $3 exactor box, 1, 5, 10, total of $18. I like a bit of a price horse, and I don't want to miss out. So $20 to place on the 5. And now here's the pick 6 taking a shot. It is a mandatory payout. So if nobody gets it, it's going at 5 of 6, which has happened before. So I'm going to go 1, 5, 10, 11. And then the next leg will be 1, 2. Following that will be the 2, 5. With the 3, 8. With the 1, 6, 10. And in the Derby, we're going to take 4 horses, include Kurt's Bomber, 1, 3, 5, 6. Total bet, $76.80.
Well, in race number 7, I'm just going after the 20-cent pick 6. I'm going to key the 5 in the first leg. Then I'm going to take the 2 and 6. Then the 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. The 1, 3. The 1, 4, 6, and 8. And round it out in the Derby with 3, 5, 7, 13, 15 for a total cost of $80. And here's our race number 8 picks.
Okay, in race 8, first leg of the pick 5, as you know, I like to go with the pick 5. But of course, I'm going to play a small bet because I don't want to get caught on missing a leg in the pick 5. So this is a $5 exactor wheel with my top 1 and 2 picks. 1, 2 with 1, 2, 6. Now in the pick 5, I'm going to use all 3. 1, 2, 6 with 2, 5, 6 with 3, 6, 8 with 1, 6 with 1, 3, 5, 6. It's a little bit of a bigger ticket, depending if you've got a group. Maybe you want to play it as a group or something. $129.60. I do like the ticket. You'll notice it's a little bit different than the pick 6. Kurt?
Yeah, Stretch, since I don't have as much money as you, I am not going after the pick 5. I'm just doing a straight win wager because I think I'm going to get good odds on number 6, Bell's the One. I'm going 30 to win on number 6. Off to race number 9, the American Turf Stretch. What do you got?
Okay, I've got a few bets going. I'm going to start with the win wager on $10 to win on the 2. I like that horse. I see enough things. And of course, I always like to throw in a place bet just in case there's a bit of trouble. So I'll go $20 to place. Throw in an exactor just because there's so much money to be available. And that's going to be another $5 exactor wheel. 2, 5 with 1, 2, 5, 6. That's $30. You could scale it down to $6 if you only wanted to play it for $1. Kurt?
Yeah, I agree. There's money to be made in here, but I went a little different way. I went $5 to win, $10 to place, and $20 to show. Yes, I did a stretch bet on number 4, Red Danger, with that great morning line of 10 to 1. Off to race number 10, Stretch. Okay, the Churchill Downs. What do you got in here?
Hey, so clearly now we've been doing this show for a couple years, and it's always good to learn from your people you're playing with. And I have just produced one bet that I call it a Kurt bet, a $10 trifecta wheel. I'm going to put 3 and 8 on top just because, just hoping that 8 can upset and it'll really pay. So 3 and 8 on top with 3, 6, 8 with 3, 6, 8. Cost $40. Would have a nice payout if we can get maybe a bit of an upset. I also threw in a late pick 3 because I do like kind of the sequence to finish it up. 3 and 8 with 1, 4, 6, 10 with 1, 3, 5, 6. That's 24.
And I also went after the late pick 3. I went 1, 3 with 1, 4, 6, 8, rounding out with 3, 5, 7, 13, 15 for a total cost of $40. On to race number 11, the Old Forester Bourbon Turf Classic Stretch. What about here?
Okay, a wide open race. Played it a little different, and you'll notice how both of our bets have all sorts of different. We don't get stuck on just one type of bet. I went $10 to win on the 6, 20 place on the 6. I think there's some value there. We'll leave it simple.
And myself, my first triactor, amazingly. In race number 11, I took number 1 Ivor and number 4 Tribufan. I went 1-4-1-4 all. And then I wedged it in the middle. I took the 1-4 with all with 1-4. Each of the wheels, $16 each, for a total of $32. Okay, Stretch, race 12, the Kentucky Derby. How are you ending it?
Well, I'm hoping to be live in some sequence bets. I debated how to play it a few ways. This time I decided, such a big field, I decided with a $2 exactor box, 1, 3, 5, 6, and 12. That's the undefeated horse. Wasn't listed in my top pick there. And that's $40. The exactors always pay big in the Derby just because of the number of horses. So that's how I finish it out.
See, isn't that amazing? Because I was looking at it the same way as you. Derby prices are absolutely crazy for the exactors if you get away from the favorites. So myself, I went a $1 exactor, Smile Happy, my 5 with all. And then I went a $1 exactor, all with the 5, each of those $19, for a total of $38. Good luck with all your selections, and hopefully you get a good trip, and may the racing gods be with you.